If you're looking for info on DJ equipment, PA equipment, some of the very latest high-tech gear, as well as some great tried and tested budget equipment. Also, there's some info on cables, the odd software advice, headphones, DJ controllers, projectors and other visuals, studio monitors, the odd turntable, microphones, lighting. Please do like and subscribe and look at the uploads on my channel, as there just might be something just for you. Quite ironic really that this upload is about visuals, and this upload is going to have jittery video, some very old footage. Nothing is in 4K, but as long as it can earn you money, who cares? Not all DJs use visuals. Some don't need it, don't want it, or even don't care for it. That was me until it was requested and I didn't have any. And this couple were from a part of the world where karaoke is massive, and they wanted it to play a special part in their celebrations at their event. So 4 or 5 years ago, I purchased the cheapest 50-inch LED screen that I could find. Sometime later, another request from another couple was to play a video that they had, a timeline of their relationship. Let's say, for example, for when they were children, right up until meeting each other, right up until the present day. Both of these events, I didn't charge any extra for visuals, although it cost me time. At the time, I was just grateful to get the jobs. It's only until you hear so many times, oh, your prices are very reasonable, then you start to think. I mean, I've even been asked, do you charge extra for lighting? Come on. I believe light should be part of your package. I'm not talking about projected monograms or lighted features in an event, or washes on walls, just your moving heads, your flashing lights, things like that. You know, the standard type. They should be free. So I've never been big into visuals until a guest at a wedding asked if I have any AV equipment. This is where my work in art institutions started, and it has proved to be very lucrative. I'm into gadgets, love my gadgets. Years prior to DJing, I was into everything AV, and one of my purchases was a projector. I'm not claiming it to be the best projector that I could have possibly got. It was a good projector, and it was the one that I wanted. I bought a decent one because I wanted to buy once. This was expensive at the time. The reason I spent a lot is because I needed something decent that was a high performer. This projector did not come with a lens, so extra purchase. The only other purchase was a spare lamp. This projector was used for projections and back projections, for staff training, presentations, and I also got a lot of work in educational institutions that were using the projections in classrooms. Although this projector cost me a lot of money, it's paid for itself over 9 times, and it's still running strong. Over the past few years, while I've been using this projector at weddings, where let's say couples needed a larger image, larger than a 50-inch monitor, I've used this. The beauty of this is that you're not limited to that 50-inch image. This, I can easily get 150. Huge screen, everybody can see it clearly, even from far away. The darker the environment, the better. But with many of these guests being indoors when it comes at a time when they're actually watching their short videos, you don't actually need it to be in total darkness. While it's indoors, the light levels are a little lower than outside, and you still can get a really good image from this projector. One of the problems that arise when you say you provide AV equipment, nothing to do with DJing, is that sometimes you get jobs or requests that are far and beyond your capabilities, and they get tempting when you realize how much they're willing to pay for that service. I've worked in art institutions, and sometimes you get to work for an artist, and the amount of money that these artists are making and these exhibitions are willing to pay for a service, astronomical. An exhibition event organizer needed a display for an artist to show their short film. I couldn't believe how much they had in their budget for this display. Not forgetting, this exhibition is running for 3 months, and this is a big art institution. I was asked, can I do it? When I knew how much they were willing to pay, I said, sure. No way was I going to lose this job. The problems with these very large monitors is they're not really practical. But in an environment like an art gallery, these are perfect. They're hanging just like pieces of artwork on the wall. They need to show a very vivid image. They need to be acceptable to the artist. They need to be acceptable to the exhibition organizer. And ultimately, that image needs to be perfect for the public to see. I took a gamble and purchased something beyond the budget to get my foot in the door. It wasn't cheap, but it ran for 3 months, flawless performance. What I was banking on came through. Recommendation. Next exhibition, the phone rings for your services. And it's even being used for staff training elsewhere, presentations elsewhere. What was in my favour, or our favour, is these institutions and companies could easily afford this equipment, but I was the solution to the problem. They needed this. They don't need to buy one, they haven't got anyone to set it up, they haven't got nowhere to store it, they don't need that problem. All they want is a solution, you come in, provide the service, then disappear. They don't need the hassle. This monitor has paid for itself 3.5 times. Then you get more work, and times people asking for 2 monitors. You don't have 2, so you have to buy another one. Take the gamble. And this one has paid for itself 5 times to date. The lockdown was a dead time, no events. You're thinking, what could you buy? What could you replace? How can you downsize? How can you improve your service? So when it came to my projector, I decided what else is out there, but I thought I wouldn't buy anything expensive. I don't need to. Let me go at the other extreme end of the scale and see what's available very cheap, which led me to purchase these 2. I tried out many. These projectors are fantastic value. They produce a lovely big image, great low light performance. They don't conk out after one movie, and they're extremely portable. My old expensive projector doesn't have Wi-Fi connectivity, doesn't have Bluetooth connectivity, just the remote control. But it has so much more when it comes to spec, not necessarily light, but internal functions. And obviously the quality of the projection is so much higher. I've actually used both of these projectors at events, showing those short movies of couples or birthday parties, special occasions. And the beauty of these large projections is everything is cheap. The projector is cheap, the screens are cheap, and everything is in such a small package. It's a lot tidier and neater. Out of all these very cheap projectors, I would say the Gym Tab has the best image. The funny thing about these cheap projectors is there's no big brand names here. They're names I've never heard of before. But don't be fooled by the fact that you've never heard of these names. These perform very well. You can't really go wrong with the projectors that are on offer at this price. I think certain little things like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity, or maybe some automatic correction of keystone or lens shift, auto brightness, auto picture correction. Some of these I think you can have against a grey wall. They'll correct themselves. Things like that. Some little fancy adjustment that you could do manually on one of the ones that are slightly cheaper. I think you'll find some of these cheaper models look like each other. They share something. Might just be the same projector in different housing from different brands. But generally, there's nothing that sets them apart. These have remote control, and you can even get some that are slightly dearer, but they're battery powered. Problem is, the battery powered ones, they usually run not as bright on the battery, so you need to power it with the mains. What I've noticed is these cheaper models, there's so many things that they can't touch the more expensive older machine on when it comes to fan noise. Although not bad, when you've got a movie going on, you'll have the audio that will drown out any fan noise and maybe the audience laughing or making just audience noise. You can't beat the fan noise of the old NEC, and image quality when you look close up, text and detail. These cheaper models just cannot touch the older, dated, expensive NEC. I still don't charge for visuals at weddings, even though I easily could. The moral of the story is, providing visuals can prove to be very lucrative. Thank you for watching.